Okay, you're live.
All right, so y'all don't mind, we'll go ahead and start the meeting now.
Same pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This part of the meeting, we're going to open up for public comments. If anybody has anything that's not on the agenda that wants to speak right now, now's the time. Okay, sir.
First question I'm going to direct.
Start with your name.
Austin Smith.
All right, Austin.
I'm going to direct for Mr. Stewart. Is there anything legally in any Indiana code that would prohibit the commissioners from hiring a relative of a council member?
Hiring a relative of a council member.
Yes, for specifically the dispatch director position.
Yes, but there's a series of exceptions that apply for certain individuals.
Okay. Are there exceptions that would apply for Mrs. Ward? For her to be able to
Yes.
hold that position?
Yes.
Okay. So with that out of the way, I would like to voice, as someone who's carried a radio in this county for 7.5 years between fire and EMS, I would like to voice my support for her. Anytime we hear her on the other side of the radio, we know the call's gonna go smoothly. She's good at her job. And she's been doing a good job as the interim director since she's been in there since, I believe, May. Is that accurate?
Very close.
Since that time, she's been doing a good job, and I think she could make some good changes within that department and make some improvements. Everybody could use improvements, and I think that she is the right person for the job. I think we need to set personal differences aside and look at who's best for the job.
Thank you for
Okay.
your comment.
Thank you. It's not personal differences.
Okay.
I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
There's reasons.
Well, I had heard that you had made the comment specifically, Mr. Julian, that you wouldn't hire anybody that's related to Mr. Ward.
No.
And I know that you and him have some differences, and I think that those need to be put to the side if that's a contributing factor.
It's one factor,
Okay,
but it's not because the difference between me and Mr. Ward.
okay,
The difference is because he decides her pay, he decides how much money they make at EMS.
there are
And
6 other council
I understand
members who
that.
vote on
I understand
He
that.
abstained himself from those
I-
votes, and
I
Mr. Stewart, who
understand.
went to school for legal, has stated that it is legally acceptable for her to be in that position.
Yes, but there's other circumstances besides that.
Okay, you care to share?
Well, we got a video of her screaming at the sheriff on a golf cart and going down the road. And so that shows right there, she doesn't really want to work with the sheriff's department.
Okay,
So, I mean,
so her and the sheriff have some differences. Isn't there a video on Facebook currently of you screaming at someone in the road?
yes, I was excited when my new truck got hit. Yes. But that's
So it's
not me.
okay for you to
That's
scream
not
in
me.
public, but not her?
That was not a public statement. That's on the square. And this conversation now is closed
Understood.
because we're not going to come in here in the grandstand and start trouble for somebody. This is a meeting for the public. Does anybody else have
As a
any
member of the
comments?
Public, I'm just trying to voice my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
let's back up a little bit. So, you're entitled to talk. I will say, and I think there is something on the agenda tonight about a public comment ordinance. We've kind of always, I'll just say this kind of generically, we've kind of always operated in Scott County as like a free flowing, get to speak on particular issues when you want, at certain times. There's no requirement that anybody respond, just first off. But just so we're all clear, Indiana code does not guarantee the right to speak at a public meeting, except for public meetings of school boards. That is the one exception where public comment is guaranteed by statute. most municipalities adopt some form of public comment ordinance that does two things. One, it secures the right to speak at a public hearing or public hearings are different. I'm not going to include those, just general public meetings. There are some statutes where by law you must hold a public hearing. By law you must take comment from the public prior to initiating any action. But in the absence of that, public comment ordinances usually do two things. One, secure the right for citizens to speak. Two, lay out specific ground rules. Usually we call them basically like time, place, and manner restrictions on how the speech is conducted, what the rules are, and how long the comment is permitted. So I will probably readdress that, but just so everybody's aware, an elected official is not required to answer a question in a public meeting. You're certainly allowed to try to talk with them separately. They can answer if they choose, but I would just say that generally, there's nothing requiring that. We are allowed to adopt, again, reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions in order to make sure that we can conduct the meeting of the board in an open session in an efficient manner. So I'd just say that generically. So.
All right, does anybody else have any other comments?
I also want to advocate for Brittany Board for the director position.
Your name?
Jennifer Alexander. I've been a dispatcher for a little over 3 years. I've worked beside Brittany all that time. I just want to read a statement that I wrote. Brittany has been a dedicated dispatcher for over 12 years. She's been unfairly passed over for the director position despite the fact that she's been doing the job for almost a year. When the position became vacant, she quickly stepped up and handled business like a true leader without hesitation. She is dependable, very knowledgeable, and trustworthy. It's the exact same thing that happened with Will. We lost one of the best dispatchers we ever had when he left, along with over a decade of experience. If we continue along this path of not promoting from within and not hiring the best candidate possible, we will continue to lose qualified and caring dispatchers. This isn't a job that just anyone can do. This job requires lots of patience, calmness, and dedication. Brittany possesses all these qualities and more. I ask that you reconsider, put your personal feelings aside, and do what's best for Scott County and the 911 center as a whole.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right.
I will add one, just to speak directly to the question about, is there legal prohibition? Indiana Code 36-1-20.2-4, which defines the direct line of supervision language in the nepotism section of the statute, states, for generally, a person is in the direct line of supervision of an elected officer or employee if the elected officer or employee is in a position to affect the terms and conditions of the individual's employment, including making decisions about work assignments, compensation, grievances, advancement, or performance evaluations. So generally, there is a prohibition in state law for elected officials and officers of employing people who are, and what you may define as family may not be how the code defines it. It's more restrictive. It's not necessarily a cousin. It's, wife, mother, daughter, son, child, those definitions. But generically, it restricts that. There's a caveat that the term does not include the responsibilities of the executive, legislative, or fiscal body of a unit as provided by law to make decisions regarding salary ordinances, budgets, or personnel policies of the unit. So I wouldn't disagree with you that Mr. Ward would need to consult his own legal counsel about what, if anything, he would be able to participate. But just so you understand, and the public understands, despite there is a exception, okay, that I think applies to certain decision-making, it is generally prohibited to hire or promote, okay, and change the title of a direct family member of an elected official who will be under the direct line of supervision of that elected official for very good reason. Okay. In some respects, she is under that subsection. That protects the person sitting in this seat. She also has protections under a separate section that grandfather her in because in her current position, because she has been in that position prior to Mr. Ward becoming a council member. Okay. So this is not to be taken as a criticism of either one of them, just so we're clear. But I just want everybody to understand there are laws about how this thing works for good reason. And, it is this unusual situation that you don't often have to deal with, but obviously in smaller communities, it often becomes a problem. So.
All right, if there's no more comments, we're going to move on with the agenda and close this portion of the meeting. All right, yeah. Make a motion to close that portion of the meeting? Okay. I'll make it unanimous. Mr. Anderson, Virgie Courthouse renovation.
Thanks for your help. Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time, Greg. We've had a quick phone conversation, but
Thanks, Rick, for coming.
yeah, absolutely, Jennifer. Thanks so much for your help too. So, Rick Anderson with Verigy. We do guaranteed energy savings projects for I call on all the municipal markets, so city, town, county, airport, library, anybody public. So, first, a little review of the utility situation in Indiana. Is anybody a utility person here before I say anything? A lot of times. So the utility situation is pretty bad in Indiana. We are a regulated utility state, which means we're kind of stuck with geographically where you sit. So I don't know if you guys read the Indy papers, but the average rate increase last year from all the major utilities was 17.5%. It's averaged about 6 over the past 15 years, but probably over the past 3 to 5, it's been more like 15, 17.5, 20. It's been pretty bad. You guys are INPA here, I believe.
Well, the city.
Yeah, I think it's considered INPA or city-owned utility or whatever else. Correct. They're still buying from Duke or whoever else. So we're going to be regulated for a long time. So the first handout, the first piece of the handout that I gave you, there's guaranteed savings legislation in Indiana, IC-36-1-12.5. It allows you guys to go out and purchase these projects via an RFQ or an RFP. We are one of 20 some companies that are registered with the state to do these projects. You have to be registered to do them. So the way these things work basically is, we come up with a project for you, and it's basically financially guaranteed. So if we don't meet our financial guarantee, we have to write you guys a check, and we can get more. We'll get more into that if we get further down the road. But we look at anything in your buildings that are sucking up utilities, so lights, HVAC, windows, really anything that can affect utilities at all. We do a lot of solar as well, so I'll get to that here in a second. But when we come into your buildings, we're looking at any of those things that energy and operational savings, and it's infrastructure improvement as well. You have to kind of look at them kind of hand in hand. The second handout that I gave you there after that first one, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Inflation Reduction Act. It was enacted back in 22 by the Biden administration. Basically allows you guys to get an investment tax credit back for either solar, geothermal, or battery technology. Unfortunately, the solar part of this is going to probably be going away here in the next 6 months to a year, but the geothermal is going to be around until the 30s. So any place that you've got any HVAC opportunities, and we might be able to impact that with geothermal, you get back a 30% incentive tax credit or a check back from the federal government for your investment. So
we'll show you how that works if we end up doing the assessment. But I say that's kind of a carrot on top, because we're gonna try to get you as much savings as we can, but if we can get you that 30% check back, it's pretty impactful for your budget, okay? So I gave you some case histories behind that in the IRA. Gave you one for Dearborn County, gave you one for Hamilton County in Indianapolis, and also we've done a lot of work here in the region. Jennings County, North Vernon's on there. We did a large project for North Vernon probably 5-7 years ago. They rebranded themselves as the Solar City in Indiana, redid their flag and the whole bit. But Greg, you were at Ripley County's meeting a couple weeks ago. We just did a ribbon cutting down there Saturday, where we their courthouse, I kind of threw grenades in and started over again, but they had hodgepodged this 1860s courthouse with all kinds of different renovations, but we've redone the whole thing. Windows, HVAC, ceilings, we put a sprinkler system in, new fire alarm system, new HVAC system, just a total redo of the courthouse. Really turned out nice.
Yeah.
So I know you were in the annex, but I don't know if you had a chance to get over to the courthouse or not, but okay, it really turned out well. So next step would be an assessment. It doesn't cost the county anything to do the assessment. We basically come back and we get your utility information. So I'd send a utility release form to Jennifer with a memorandum of understanding. It's basically just allows me to get resources within my own company. But again, this assessment doesn't cost the county anything to do. I come back with some potential cost of a project, savings, how the thing would work from a timing perspective. And then you guys decide, after I give you the assessment, do we want to move forward with, the RFQ and the RFP and all that stuff?
It doesn't lock us into anything.
Nope, absolutely. Assessments, again, it's a no charge. I need a little bit of information and time, but it won't take very much. And then we do a walk around with my development engineers and come back to you with our findings. So I don't think some of the stuff we're going to come back with is going to be a surprise, but we'll look at all your county facilities and come back to you with a project.
Okay.
Up to you guys. I mean, I think our biggest thing is that we need to start with some direction.
Yeah.
And I just know you guys have done a lot of work, and all the places that you mentioned I'm familiar with. So
Good.
This is like a first step in us trying to move forward with, the needs that we have at City Hall and the needs that need to take place here as well. So, I think assessment would be great.
Yeah.
And then we can weigh it out from there.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I think.
It takes me about 6 weeks to 2 months to get you back the assessment, but
And I'm a data guy, cyber, and so I've been to a lot of energy conferences so far.
Right.
I've been a commissioner, so a free assessment sounds great to me to see what we can do better, save money, cost of the citizens, everything else. So I'm for it.
perfect.
One of the things, Rick, I want to bounce off of too is the whole, RFP, RFQ process that we get down. How does that typically look? I do things on the transportation side, but I don't quite frankly understand it if it's about the same thing on your guys' end.
Yeah, so typically we take the place, so the old way of doing business, hire an architect engineer, they come back with an assessment, which they typically they don't do for free. So it's 50, 100, whatever the dollar amount is. And then but they don't help you implement things. They basically just give you the information and then say, okay, we got to go advertise. We take low bid. We have change orders. The nice part about our projects is there are no change orders. So whatever we come to you with contractually, the legislation says no change orders. The only change orders are if you guys make the change order. It's not me coming in with some kind of a low cost and then saying, oh, I forgot something, which is typically the way that a lot of these projects work, as you probably know from doing any of this kind of stuff. We actually provide the RFQ. I'll give you an RFQ. Now somebody says you're not going to advertise something that's not slanted towards your company. It's very boilerplate. I always say, give it to your attorney, have him look at it. If he doesn't like the way it reads, change it. But I'm going to give you that as well. So the nice part about it is I'm kind of acting as a general contractor for you. The Ripley County was a good example. We did probably about 5 or 6 different competencies where you would have had to go out and hire 5 different companies to do that. We act as a general contractor, and I've got one project manager that you're dealing with, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's really a simple process. And I say all the time, I can tell you, sit here all day and tell you how great we are, but talk to Mark Horseman at Ripley and get his, experiences. Oh God, who was the mayor of North Vernon? He's a retired older gentleman.
Sue
Give me a,
Campbell?
yeah, no, I think it was after him. Oh God, if he said his name, anyway, I can get you his name, but he'd tell you, his experience was pretty impactful, so.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. What people don't, fail to realize, so there's limitations for us when we have to upgrade or do any type of renovations with municipality buildings, types of buildings, government buildings, because in this realm, it has to go through a series of engineering and be, checked off with Homeland Security, and it's a process. And so because it's a process, it's not a cheap process. We just can't hire ex-contractor to come in and do work. So, and that's at the end of the day, that's for the protection of the building and the investment for taxpayers. So there is reasons behind that. But anything you could share with us on the process, I'd appreciate that. Because this is really our first step here, and we know that we have a building across the road that will be vacated here shortly. So
Which would be the ideal time.
Yeah, so it's right. It'd be the ideal time to get folks in there to look around and stuff. So whatever you can provide, I think we're all in agreement here to go with an assessment.
Okay, perfect. I'll get information to Jennifer. And
One motion, or
if you
I'll
got
make a motion to enter into assessment.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Tom Springston is next up on the agenda. How you doing, Tom?
Pretty good. Hope y'all
I
doing
don't
well.
think so.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Very colorful.
Yeah, hopefully, kind of pretty quickly to say, I believe y'all probably got emails not long ago talking about how trying to create what an acronym is a CISMA, C-I-S-M-A, stands for Cooperative Invasive Species Management Area. We're trying to control invasive species, be they weeds, vines, trees, what have you. It's actually one of our Master Gardener interns through our last class. This was her idea to try to come up with that. She has a good background in forestry. So we contacted it's Kayla LaPlace. You'll see on that first flyer that Kayla kind of works for the state of Indiana. She's our district. So we've set up a meeting that's going to be on Thursday, September 11th, 6 o'clock at the high school commons area. She has some funds, going to be providing meals or dinner provided. You'll see the QR codes to scan. One of them would be to reply an RSVP. The other one is kind of like take a survey of what do you think are invasive species in the county. And kind of a follow up to that. We've already set up a first meeting of folks that would be interested in being on the committee to do that. That's what the CISMA meeting is on the October 9th down at the fairgrounds. Kind of what I'm here to ask is that we thought, okay, one of the ways that they try to control these is what they call a weed wrangle. And so we thought, okay, where would be a good public place and folks might know and we want to visit and try to help us control something. So my first thought was down at Pigeon Roost, which I understand is, yes, it is a state memorial, but I believe it's under county bureau's control. There's pretty significant Asian or Oriental bittersweet vine problem down there. And so that's what that fact sheet is about.
Okay.
So that's basically what I'm here to ask. We have a couple of dates in mind. I mean, they're not set in stone by any means, but looking at possibly Saturday, October 11th, or November 1st, or November 8th. I'd called John the other day asking about, when is the reunion down there? So it's in September, so we wouldn't be interfering with that. But just kind of wondering, again, if you might have permission to do that, and kind of, if that's, so be it, then we were thinking about maybe we needed a waiver or volunteer agreement to waive any liability or responsibility for either the SISMA or you all as the commissioners to, to have folks down there doing that. So, if y'all have, or Zach already has anything?
Nothing they would have.
Normally, if we're putting on events, we do require like a certificate of liability with the county named as an additional insured, but it's up to you guys to decide if you want to waive that. I think the only times we've done it are for like the courtyard for like very specific like partnerships that the county has entered into with certain groups. And I mean, with Purdue Extension.
It's
or
part of it.
Yeah.
I'd be
So I waive.
I'd be willing to waive that.
And I guess what I is kind of thinking is about like individuals that might be there helping. So it actually, Jess, the Master Guard volunteer, who also works for the state, and she found a state form that we kind of just revised and put Scott County SISMA's name, and then down lower you'll see on the waiver, just added you all as commissioners or any pensioners as that, and that if you don't already have a waiver form or anything made up, I'll just maybe offer that as a possible suggestion, or again, let Zach look it over.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is if you wanted to do it, essentially you just waive the requirement that they obtain, but that you request that any volunteers execute the volunteer agreement. I think that's a very reasonable alternative considering the relationship the county already has with Purdue. So I agree.
We have a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move forward with it and waive it.
I'll second.
All right, I'll make that unanimous.
And require that the volunteers,
Required.
Yes, that's what we would have, the volunteers to sign that.
that'd be perfect. Yeah, thank you.
So,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
yeah, and we'll keep you updated, or again, encourage you if you haven't already signed up to come to that September 11th, to get a free dinner out of it. And hear from some folks talking about, what are the species we're trying to talk about, or
You gonna feed us some of them berries?
Pardon?
You gonna feed us some of them berries?
no.
Okay, good.
That's dessert.
John, thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, and if there's any other questions about anything for me, let me know sometime.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, John. All right, next item up on the business is Highway Department, uniform policy, CCMG updates.
I think the uniform policies are already done.
Yeah.
We got those.
I think we will probably do, I mean, I know we've approved, I think everybody got a copy of an administrative ordinance used in a separate county for that. I think we will, I will put something together for a meeting later this year. I think we talked about the idea that what had passed was going to be effective January 1st of next year anyways. So I'll make sure that I get that in front of you guys before January 1st.
One thing I put in front of you there, I sent you all an email, and I just recognized, before I come over, I think I sent you this is the road inventory the USI done our audit for. I sent you the roads that were removed and not the roads that were accepted. So anyway, I want you to have a list of those. The roads that were removed were all just error on GIS. And they removed those, and then the roads that were added was roads that just, I think, never got adopted into the county through the years for whatever reason. So that was found. Anyway, I have this acceptance letter
Then signed by the commissioners, and then the next step would go to NDOT, and we would change our road inventory. Technically, it wasn't adding a new one.
I'm just curious, Kevin, with some of these newly added roads, were any of them brought up to standards or your
Yeah, like,
expectations?
You know, one of them on there, like, Windy Shores, like, I think that was adopted in 1980, was it 85? I think what I read. For some reason, it just never made it to the system. Easy Street, that was like back in the
That's why I'm,
70s or something, and
Right.
it just never made it. I mean, these are roads, it's good condition, just never made it to the system. I know, and maybe one road that was took off was No Road. That was just a little cut around off the split stump that I think I took back to the home or the landowner years ago. It's not even there no more, so just some cleanup like that. Not any major fines per se, but, Pigeon Rouge was on there, Pigeon Ridge was on there, and not even get it on there, but, there was a few like that.
nice.
That's not anything set in stone, there can't be changes, it's just, those are the changes we found now, as far as I had to take.
It's very flexible.
Yeah,
It can be updated anytime.
yes, kind of the same process we did right there.
We need a motion for that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
make
you'll-
a motion to
there's signature
submit our
lines for
asset
everybody.
management plan to NDOT.
Yeah, I'll second that.
And I'll make that unanimous.
I'll move into my CCMG updates, so the chip seal, fog seal, contractor is done and moved out of the county. Our small structures on Reeves Road right now. They're setting wing walls currently. So I went out there and checked it out today, so we had a few discrepancies that they're working on, but all in all, project's going good, and they're thinking a week and a half, and they're gonna be able to get that road open back up. It'll be similar to how they did Kendra Hook, they're just gonna get it opened up, put the asphalt wedge on it, come back and do all the finished paving.
Talk to Ben today. We appreciate that.
One thing I wanted to bring up real quick was Slab Road. We're getting some road closed on or before made for that. That's one bridge we was gonna work on, and do a little rehab on the in-house. So anyway, you'll see signs go up there here in the next week. So I'm sure all of you probably get called. Slab Road is a very busy road, but we're hoping to start that project around the second week of September. Hopefully be done in around a 3-week period, as long as we don't get no huge rain right in the middle of the project, because we get all, that can push us out. Hopefully we don't. But anyway, material should be in at that time, so we won't shut down, but we have that on the job. That's just something coming up. I want to touch base real quick just for a conversation, because me and you just talked about the wheel tax and the CCMG and everywhere that's at. I was just looking up kind of what I've seen. So I think technically that is correct, that you do not have to have a wheel tax to be eligible for CCMG. I think maybe where the confusion comes in is the CCMG cap went from $100 million across the board, or I'm sorry, $250 million across the board to $100 million across the board. So I think what it is they're saying it's going to get a lot more competitive for the funding. So that's why they're encouraging municipalities to get the wheel tax, because so many become dependent on CCMG, I think.
We are,
And we are.
everybody, and
We are.
we're, everybody's in the same boat, every county, every municipality, the whole state.
But with that being said, I think it is getting worded wrong, probably outward. It looks like it's not actually set in stone, you're not eligible for CCNG without a will tax, and that isn't.
Yeah, that's how I heard.
Yeah, that's not,
Understood
that's
it from
correct,
Washington
that's
County's
not correct.
budget hearing this week.
It's just, I think what is encouraged is, it's gonna be a very competitive process. So, in other words, maybe just because you've been successful over the last however many years,
Yeah.
maybe don't look for it. I just kinda wanted to,
Yeah, and just for those who's listening at home, whatever, the wheel tax is really up to the council, whether or not to adopt. And I just want to kind of go on a little bit on record here and say that whether or not to accept it or not is almost a mandate. It's not a mandate, but they're leaving counties very little options on whether or not to accept it. And I know they didn't want us to accept it for the last 4 years that I've been in office.
yeah, but it's not a mandate, and it's not.
No, it's not a
It
mandate.
doesn't keep us from being eligible. I think that's probably confusing.
Trying to force our hand.
The state's putting a
Not
lot of
forcing it,
pressure.
But it's not necessarily has to be.
They're gonna
The
say you're
state is
eligible, but they're, if we're used to getting 1 million, 1.2, 1.7, they're going to look to say, you have skin in the game now. Oh, you don't? Okay, well, you may get awarded something. And when I say something, I'm only talking about a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get $1 million without the wheel tax. Now, I know it's unpopular, nobody wants to do it. And I'm gonna tell you folks, every county across the state of Indiana is dealing with this issue. We're not unique in ourselves that this is only here. It's everywhere. I know Franklin County just last week voted to approve a wheel tax. Every county is sitting there thinking, nobody wants to do it. But they're thinking, how do we get away from it? And I'm gonna say this, I think for every county's defense, the state has really done a poor job of coming and explaining this. It's just like they just throw stuff out and figure it out. We're recommending you do this, but we've not had any guidance. I've asked for, maybe our financial people to come down and put a presentation on to show folks, this is what potentially you're going to lose out on if you do not have a wheel tax implemented. Again, it's nothing that we want to obviously try to advocate or push to have done. We're still very clueless how this county is going to be able to continue to provide the services that we've done in the past when it comes to our infrastructure. It's very frightening.
And we pushed it off for 4 years. I mean, it's been in the talk.
But the legislators are saying, hey, guys, we're not the bad ones here. You guys have tools and a toolbox to implement to get funding if you need it. And that's really what it's come down to. They've pushed things down to the local level. And so now it's up to us to try to figure this out. And it's not easy. And I know no one in county government, whether it's Scott County, Washington County, Jefferson County, I know the city of Madison, for instance, cities can pass a wheel tax as well. And so I know the city of Madison, I believe they passed theirs. And I know Jefferson is sitting there saying, man, we don't want to. We don't know. We're trying to hold and get some additional information like you guys are talking about. But at the end of the day, I will come up short with funding. I don't see any other way around it. But that's a discussion for another night.
I just wanted to bring that up because it is a good point that I think sometimes it's getting dreaded that it's a mandate or you're not going to get it. Isn't necessarily true. It's encouraged.
We don't have to do anything, but our county also has to understand.
You may not have any.
Your level services are going to drop dramatically from what you've been used to seeing.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
All right, one more quick thing. Yeah, Zach may want to get on this. I have a stop sign citizens asked me about, and I think it probably holds a merit on a side issue. We've done this before. And I'm
Putting a stop sign in.
yes, where there's never been one. I know, I think I can justify the site issue, as far as the.
If you want to do
goes.
what we did before, which is reference the, was that the NDOT
Yes, the,
manual
uniform
on
manual traffic control.
traffic control devices? If you want to reference that and like put a proposal together, you don't have to obviously like write the ordinance, just
Right.
put the description of the location, the rationale, and the section of the manual that justifies it. We can put an ordinance together for a future meeting.
You're talking about retro?
Yes, Reed's and Canada.
Yeah.
I was out there today, I spoke to the guy, I actually seen him at the transfer station yesterday, so.
Yeah. That was something I was gonna ask you to follow up on. Yeah. Because I know we brought up in like one of the first 2 meetings or so.
Yeah, it's, there's some side issues there. I'll go back to the manual and try to get some good numbers so you guys have them, so the justifications, but
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what we.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to put that in like a short statement, I will draft everything and we'll get it scheduled for. I don't think that requires a public hearing, but I'll go back and look, but I don't think so. It probably does.
But I don't know for sure. So that's why
I could be wrong.
But I'll get that part done and we'll go from there.
Well, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Kevin. All right. Next item on the agenda, area plan ordinance changes.
So everybody has a copy of the proposed ordinance. I know that there was a announcement at the last meeting about today's hearing. My understanding is we're unable to advertise correctly. So we have 90 days from the date of certification from the Plan Commission to take action under Indiana Code 36-7-4-607.5, subsection E. It received a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission, so we're well within the 90-day period. I would request that you table the issue. Obviously, the ordinance is available for anybody that wants copies to see what was proposed. And will be discussed at the meeting that we set the advertisement for was September 17th at 5 o'clock.
17th.
Yes. Be the second meeting, second Wednesday of September.
All right. Do we need to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous. All right. Next item up on the agenda is a Big Ox property cleanup. Is there any new developments on this?
I don't have nothing.
If y'all are here for the, I'm sorry, if y'all are here for the area plan ordinance, it wasn't advertised correctly. And so if y'all are here to speak on or for or whatever, it's no longer on the table for tonight, for discussion. And so it would be for the next meeting. So just.
Not in-
September
Not in
17th.
the
Oh, I'm sorry, September 17th.
September 17th meeting.
So I apologize.
I have no updates on Big Ox. I mean, I've received what I've requested at this point. I'm going forward with my instructions, and I mean, I did get an update that there was some cleanup done by the property owner, but
Cool.
All right. So the next, we'll move on to the next item, is transfer station progress and manpower. So, from my understanding, manpower, at the moment is not going to be, an issue tonight. We had a gentleman who suspected he wouldn't be coming back, and he changed his mind. So he still has a job currently. On the transfer station progress, this week, Tuesday, actually yesterday, We started off using the scale. Everything was successful. Thanks to Kevin, today he gave us a old military dump truck to set down there and throw trash in so we can dump the bags that we're taking before we get to this big scale, which would be very helpful. And thank you, Kevin, for that. Well, I guess we better mention one thing on that part. Kevin, I think we're going, when did you say? How long? Greg?
Tuesday is, Dwayne had been to the doctor and had some issues and felt like he would be back to work on Tuesday next week, so.
Can you spare a guy?
Yeah, well, obviously, we're always looking for manpower too. I know everybody's looking for manpower, but yeah, we'll make it happen.
Well, once again, thank you for saving us. Does anybody have any questions about transfer station?
Yeah, Randy, I was just gonna ask about the satellite place. I mean, I heard that the, not the commissioners, but the council would want to approve the manpower for that anymore.
Right.
Where'd you hear that from, sir?
Just 1 minute though, we'll be back to that. That's actually on the agenda.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So moving on to the next item of business is IDM Settlement.
Everybody should have received the qualified settlement proposal from Indiana Department of Environmental Management. Jennifer, do you have a copy of that?
Yes, I do.
Adam, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, I forgot it's on.
I asked-
Sit down.
I asked, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I asked the council that in a meeting, on televised meeting.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
So it's public record.
Okay, so obviously we'd received this. I distributed prior to the last meeting. I have received no corrections or changes from anybody. If you look through and notate or note in paragraph 16, there's an assessed fine of $6,700. This is a fine that's assessed based on the violations that are notated in Roman numeral 1. Throughout Roman numeral 1, there were 2 separate inspections that were conducted, one on February 29th. I'm sorry, 3, February 29th, 2024, September 24th, 2024, and June 10th of 2025. So this would cover all outstanding issues. It does come with the automatic 20% reduction, but that $6,700 is calculated already with that reduction built in. The idea being that if we were not to accept this by the deadline, which is August 25th, that would no longer be theoretically on the table. And we would probably be proceeding to an administrative hearing in front of an administrative law judge on the violations. The term sheet also includes the calculations for the penalties and a description of what we will do to fix the issues going forward. That provides timeframes and other things that we will comply with. I think much of which has already begun. Some of which we're still in the process of doing, and then I'll be submitting a revised plan to IDM if this is something that the board wishes to enter into. As for where the $6,700 comes from, I think that would be something that we would send to council and ask for an additional appropriation of that amount. But it also includes a payment plan as well, if that's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I make a motion to accept that and move forward.
We need to close and get away from
There are, there is only one signature line on the back, so I would just ask that you make a motion to permit Randy to sign on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, and then allow me to sign as counsel on the final page.
All right, so we have a motion from Greg, we have a second from Adam, we have a motion from you to allow me to sign.
Absolutely, motion.
and Zach to sign it as our legal representation.
All right, I'll make both of them unanimous.
That's the case right here. And then you gotta print your name and then put your title. Have we put up the signs already?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Do we need an ordinance or memo or anything for prices or anything for the transfer station or anything to send up or standards for citizens to know or send up to?
The
IDM?
prices are already up.
I think we already have an ordinance on.
Okay, I was just making sure. Didn't remember looking at one or signing anything.
I think I'd have to go back and look, but.
The prices are already posted on the
If you could put the date, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I didn't remember seeing or being part of that.
It was in 2023 or 2024, back when they did
Oh, I mean for the scales. I didn't
the
know,
scales.
since it changed with the weight and all that stuff.
What's that?
The weight.
With the scales and everything, since it's a new payment or new way of weighing trash and all that, I didn't know if we had to update the payment or the standards or memos, policies and all that.
No, it's written in the plain for everybody to see, and they see it before they come in, they can decide whether or not they want to pay that or not. It's posted 3 times, 2 times before they get the scale, once after the scale, so.
Okay.
Okay, so the next item up on the agenda is satellite trash operations plan.
Sorry.
You're all right. I did talk to the council. It's televised meeting. It's the general consensus of the council that nobody is going to fund the satellite operations. They have all said that they agree that they're not going to do that. And I asked them specifically, so we can plan on you guys not doing this, and they agreed that they are not going to no longer fund the satellites, and I believe we're out of money.
The budget is still there. What was budget, the location budget? But as for the cash balance, we're running negative.
So, yeah.
So what's your price?
Well, I mean, we're here, we're available. If that's what you guys want to do, I mean, we'll do it for what we said we would, and we'll make it work.
And like I've said before, is I want to open it up to anyone to bid on it for an operation and not give it a monopoly or just one person. I want to open it up for anyone to come in and present us with a plan to run it.
I don't think anybody will come in at 0, but you could do.
No, I want to be open up for anyone. If no one else comes in, then hey, I'm good with it. But I want to make sure everyone has a fair shot.
Here's what I would like to do. Go ahead.
I just want to say, we wouldn't be opening it up for anybody, because if they want to go out there and operate, they're not going to be doing it on our property. I believe they're going to be calling churches and doing it from their parking lot, and they're no longer tied to the county at all.
Okay, so I didn't know
That's
we were
where
gonna
I'm
lose the
at.
permit or anything. I was still thinking we were gonna operate on the permit sides and everything else.
No.
So I haven't been aware of any changes or anything going on.
Since there's no funds involved in it, again, we'll see whether it will be a bidding process because.
Right.
I think
no
he's,
money. And Mr. Anderson said it, we go out and set up on our neighbor's property.
Yeah, the way we left this meeting the other night, when we had this discussion, it was like, well, we were gonna leave it to the council to say, are they gonna fund it? Okay, now we have found out it doesn't seem that that's gonna be the case moving forward. So, I think I like the idea, and there was a lot of things thrown out about, hey, let's just let the free market
Yep.
dictate it, and we'll slowly kind of get out of that portion of the trash business since we can't afford it. And then, folks like yourself, there's opportunity out there to work that market, but it wouldn't be through the county. I don't want to be tied to the
We
trash.
understand that's all liability with you guys.
Yeah, it's our, we understand that.
Yeah.
And we gotta get our own places, and we gotta make it work.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do, and if that's okay with you,
Don't do it,
Yeah,
but
no,
we'll have to you can get them signed individually.
And I was thinking we were gonna use the permits. Do the permits fall off? Do we?
That's true. We talked about some of the things, but with that, I think it's just best. If we're not gonna fund it, then we don't want any liability tied to it.
exactly, and that's the way it should work.
just to clear things up real quick. I believe Blevins Trash Service is here tonight to just let the public know that if we close this down tonight, that they will make provisions to be out there to collect trash for people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just,
We'll be there, and we can start as early as the first next month, that's what you want.
If that's next week.
Or next week, or tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, but people gotta understand, those locations, may not, you guys may not be able to work with the locations that were currently being
Right.
used. I mean,
Right, that's what we understand.
one of the issues,
Randy's been real clear about that.
okay,
yeah.
that's good. Okay.
one of the issues is examples is Finley. They've always allowed us to operate out there, but recently, they want us to get insurance on their property if we was to continue the service. Naturally, we can't afford to continue the service, especially if the council's not going to fund it. And additionally, we would be up for more charges on insurance for property. So that's why it's going to have to be switched over to maybe a church parking lot as well.
Which I don't blame them.
No, I don't either. It's,
Yeah, can't blame them for that.
I mean, we can write it, we can put it as one of our insurance on buying.
Some places we go, we give them certificate of insurance anyway.
I think they meet out there the first Thursday at 7:00 of the month. So if you guys want to talk to them about that.
Well, yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that this stuff goes, the way it's supposed to go, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you guys allow us to take it over, we'll be there.
So for us right now, the initial, or the item that we need to deal with is whether or not,
Do we still have, I mean, I know that they're saying they're not budgeting it, but I'm assuming that's for 2026, right?
we're broke now. They're not gonna find us the money.
The money's already budgeted for 25 though.
Yeah, you're-
Even though, I mean, it's gonna end up negative, it's gonna come out of the general fund because it's not shored up. But
it's negative now, though, right?
what the cash part is, yes. But the location budget, the money that was appropriated, there's enough appropriated for the end of the year.
So has stickers not been ordered to backfill, to bring in the revenue to offset the negative balance?
There are stickers, we have reordered some, we haven't received them yet.
Okay,
And we're not, because of the
Yeah.
controversy, a lot of people are not buying.
Yeah.
We have people come to our office and buying them, but
Then I would I've communicated, like, I've sent a communication to council as well, that included on communications with her staff members with IDM about this situation, and kind of asked if we were considering closing, if that became a necessity, what would we need to do? I have not received, I was placed on another email with another woman, Juliana. I haven't received a response directly from her, but considering that seems like the board's like tendency maybe to, well, you may be forced in 2026 to close regardless. I would just, again, considering the money's in the budget, don't necessarily want to do something without giving people advance notice. I would just request that you table the actual shuttering until the second meeting of September. I only say the second because I will not be here at the first meeting. And again, I don't want to close these down like locally, and then we get into, again, part of the issue seems to have been in the past is doing things and then asking for forgiveness, basically. I think that part of this agreement, the spirit of it is to consult with IDM regarding changes related to permitting, management. So I would just suggest that, considering the money is in the budget,
it's in the budget, yes.
that you consider holding off until the September 17th meeting.
So what do we do about the Finley Firehouse wanting us to insure their property?
I believe we could actually just say something to Richie and they're like a rider on us. I mean, I hate to say we haven't done it in all these years. It's not been.
Finley Firehouse is one.
Well,
They're
it's pending, all right? I mean, we're not in a position, I think, tonight to make a decision on closing those sites down. I mean, there's obviously some other things that we had to, procedures we gotta follow through IDM and such. And yeah, and I mean, in the meantime, until we can get all the information needed, and that may be September 17th, you know, and that's the second meeting, right? So that, it may be at that time that we have to make a decision. I don't think we're in a position
I mean, I'm
tonight
fine
to
with
make that call, that we're gonna close those tonight.
I'm fine with that.
No,
We've just got to make,
I mean,
I guess, Finley Firehouse whole until we do this.
I mean, we can reach out to our agent and
And I just want to say, like, I sent the communication August 13th and got added onto an email with Juliana.
it's not the most responsive
Yeah, I mean, it was,
avenues of it. Would you mind to reach out to Richie?
John, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I do. We cut ties and say the company had a oil leak like we've had to deal with, not it keeps coming in.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Well, I hope you don't. I mean, I'm glad you do. Thank you. Don't. But my concern is if it does happen along the line, are we the ones gonna get fined again?
well, I
That's
think,
why
I think
So we cut our ties.
what I've heard tonight is different than what I've heard in previous meetings, if I'm understanding it correctly. We're not even talking about
A contract.
allowing contracting. We're talking about closing the transfers. I'm sorry.
Not transfer.
Oh, sorry.
Don't change, don't go back, good God.
Closing the satellite stations entirely.
Instead of subcontract.
And
That's what makes me feel a little.
My understanding is they would be setting up their own agreements in separate locations, like a different location to do what they're doing. That would have nothing to do with us.
So that would be between them and wherever.
But if we still have ties to them, will IDM come back to us?
We don't have
We
ties.
wouldn't have ties.
We're cutting totally.
Yes.
How would we?
If we get out, we're out.
We're out.
Yeah,
I
but
don't want I trust you guys, but if
We're not-
something happens or oil over the.
I just wanna say, like,
pipeline and comes
just
up,
real quick,
right, you got it.
I'm not saying you should do anything wrong. I'm not saying
Yes.
you're, like, we're not advocating for, we're not,
Yes,
we're just saying our sites will be closed. I think the idea is if the public wants to know there's an intent from a private entity to, on their own, voluntarily, do whatever they want to do.
that's what we want, yeah.
Okay, so like, we're not, we're out. And
We're a
if I'm
citizen.
understanding what everybody's saying.
And my thing is for the citizen to choose who they want, not to be forced, not saying y'all, but if a citizen wants to choose someone else, or not saying y'all are bad, but just they have opportunities, like if they want to get Rumpke or somewhere else or whatnot.
To pick up at their house.
Yeah, or, whatever else, if they want to choose someone else or go where else, yeah.
And if there's
I know
another
we'll be
location,
responsible for landfill.
Yeah.
Responsible for something else happens. So if we're totally cut from, or okay.
well, and that's why Zach's wanting to work through the permitting on that. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I
that's-
get where you're at, John, and I agree. We just want to make sure we cover all of our bases.
And I had, like I said, I asked in advance to basically, under the theory that somebody would have contacted me and said, this is what you need to do, the steps you would need to take to close, right? And I think that is what would absolve us
Yeah.
of liability going forward. If we terminate our permits and close our stations, we're done.
So it sounds like we're talking about closing these due to financial issues, is that accurate?
Mostly,
Yes.
mostly,
Is there not a way to make this financially self-sufficient?
yeah, raise taxes. Raise the fees.
There is.
everything.
There is, but it would cost $48,500 to buy the equipment, plus we'd have to hire more people. And which would be a full-time person on the county.
I didn't know if this was something as simple as raising the price of stickers to make up that financial loss that it sounds like we're taking.
No,
They raised, what you raised 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah,
we did.
and,
Yeah.
and it's still not closed. So then it's tough, because then you get into those things. It's like, I just have a half a bag of trash, and it's like, well, you're sorry, you still got to pay now $2 or $3 for, and that's a lot for us to try to supplement. It's the cost that we run into, and we've kicked this thing a million times, but it's when it gets out to the transfer station and then goes back out. It's that hauling fees, and
I don't
it's
think-
on the backside of that that's eating us up.
And I might add, and it doesn't get rid of the IDM problem, we're still out there doing it. And all I can say is, I think it's 6 to 8 o'clock at the landfill sites, guys coming out of the landfill, satellite sites, and people bring it out. What I'm saying is, they don't allow us anything on the ground. Well, unless somebody's out there monitoring that place 24 hours a day, people go out there and put mounds of trash out there.
And that's a violation.
We get in trouble for it.
And that's when we start.
So they
getting in
start-
trouble. That's exactly.
They
So
start-
these
And that would
violations
be
are
true
something
too.
we have done wrong as a county, it's citizens doing wrong.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
We-
that part-
They don't start
I mean, they're-
taking trash until 3:30, until somebody shows
Not-
up. When you get out there, there's usually a mound of trash where people has just already threw it there. Some of them's got stickers, some of them don't.
Okay.
You
I
know.
don't want to say it's a citizen issue, I'm just saying it happens.
Okay, that, I would agree with that.
So, all right, so we're gonna move on off the satellite trash operations. Let's go to West Banco, purchase of US Bank loan.
So
I'm sorry,
17th, so the next one's the 17th, and we'll talk.
That'll be when it's addressed.
that's what, September 17th will be the next time we talk about it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if we need to, I'll make a motion to table this satellite trash operations plan until September 17th meeting.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
If you
you.
need me now, call me.
All right.
Thank
West Banco purchase of US Bank loan.
Yeah. I've seen you a long time.
That's what you requested to look on.
Was it?
You had sent an, I
No.
think there was a discussion about whether or not West Banco would be interested in purchasing.
Oh, no, I just said that they was looking, information that was supposed to be coming down involving council or what I'm taking over. I was just for discussion when I put it on the agenda.
So we don't have
Oh,
nothing to
request
discuss
put it on the
tonight.
agenda.
Oh, then I'll follow up and see what's going on with President Ward and see if they're gonna do that, follow through to get it off and all that. So I apologize, I haven't followed up on that. I've been out of town. So.
West Banco's got, I think, everything in place for us with this, so, yeah, I mean, it's something to probably talk about the council and,
Yeah, to make sure it
maybe
gets away.
Ryan,
Yeah.
you know, get some people involved in
Yeah,
that.
get away from the cross collateralization laws and all that.
To me, it looked and sounded pretty good from what I've read.
Yeah, I'm not-
I-
I haven't seen anything, looked at anything.
Yeah, I didn't realize it came back, so I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I didn't realize.
I
missed it.
I do understand the benefit of it
Yeah.
in the sense that we would not be under a continuing obligation theoretically that would, if whatever's going on over here
Yeah.
would not necessarily affect a different department.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a benefit.
Yeah, I don't want to lose an ambulance for sure.
Okay, so
So I apologize, I'll follow up on
we're gonna move off that and we're gonna go to EMA 911 director position posting. So we hired an individual and she was offered more money to work at a closer county to where she lived.
Well, I'll just add, I seen her, was it Monday? Ripley County hired her and she was in the room. I actually got to see her and speak with her for a moment there, but she, the director that we actually hired was hired at Ripley County. And so she'll be starting over there now. So it's back to the drawing board.
So I think at this time, I think the thought is maybe open the process back up for applications again.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't we go back to the applicant pool that we've already interviewed people and pull from there?
Because there wasn't all that many people that was,
I'm gonna agree a little bit with Adam here because I think it's twofold. I think, yeah, I mean, if we open it up for another however long, if somebody else out there has some interest, but I think we should look through back our applicants that have been submitted. And then, you know,
but I think we need to open them back up for.
yeah,
The
that's what I say. I
chance for-
think it's a twofold. I mean, I think the people who submitted don't need to submit
Resubmit.
again. We've got them, we've got their applications on file. So if you wanted to open it up for, you know, a week or two or whatever.
I would say expedited to move this along because we've already been since May. Yeah. But that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't, we've hired before in the past in a rush and it didn't work out good for us. I personally, I want to take our time and make sure we get the right person in the position. Not argue with you, just be arguing with you. It's just, I've been down that road.
Yeah.
So I'm not in a hurry, personally.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying too. Yeah.
Does anybody want to make a motion on anything here?
I mean,
I'll defer to you,
I wouldn't.
majority of the board.
I wouldn't I wouldn't carry out more than advertise it and open it up for a couple of weeks and then,
Okay.
and then move from there.
If I'm hearing what you guys are saying though, do you want to reach out to the applicants that already went through the process and say, are you still interested?
Here's what I would,
Reconsider them.
yeah, right, I like that word. And because what I would like to look at is, you know, moving forward in this time frame, who submitted, you know. And we take, obviously, the best qualified people that's been submitted. and we look back what we had, and then we may have a second interview or something maybe from that standpoint from somebody else, and then that we may have interviewed in the past, and then if there's new candidates potentially that may put in for this new job coming up, then, we look at it, we look at everyone, but I don't know necessarily that we have to reach back out to the folks that, because I mean,
I'm not saying every single one, I'm just saying if you want to consider the application's open, you just want to reach back out to the person who's already submitted an application and say,
Are you interested?
are you interested? Do you want us to just use the application you've submitted?
that's fine. We can, I get where you're going, that's fine.
So what, a week?
I think we have to do it for 10 days.
Okay. I would say the middle,
Oh,
middle
sure.
possible.
Yeah, I think
I
that's,
mean, yeah, it depends on how it falls, right? That's,
Yeah, I'm good.
So run it for 10 days, open applications, and you may individually reach out to.
I need a motion.
I make a motion to advertise for 10 days.
And reconsider those previously.
And yes, reconsider past applicants.
All right,
I'll second that.
I got a motion from Greg, I got a second from Adam, correct? That's a second,
Yes, sir.
and I'll make that unanimous. All right, job posting update. Was that for the
yeah,
transfer station?
no, because I didn't do anything on that one. I just
Okay.
found out about that this week. We've got mowers for the cemetery
Oh,
and the part-time VSO.
yes,
And those will close Friday, and you could possibly interview those the following week. So,
okay. You guys,
What is the salary? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. September 13th is, I think, when they got a reunion out at Pigeon Roost. It'd be nice to have that place cleaned up for those people.
And if you need help, let me know. I'll go down there.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
What is the salary? Do anyone know for the part-time VSO? I had a few people reach out and ask me about that.
just gonna find it for you.
Thank you.
while she's doing that, do we have a date that either one of you guys can make it for, to interview?
I don't know, maybe,
We probably need to look at we probably need to get, do we want to just announce that September, our first meeting in September, when we're going to talk about the interview process? That way we got a chance to look at the applicants.
yeah, that's fine, because it's not even closed yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Did I make that clear in what I was saying?
Yeah, we need to get someone right away, because I've been out to the VSO site a few times and it's been locked up. So we need to get someone in there.
So we'll just wait and see.
And I've been out there as well. So I know we do need to get that position filled, so.
Not to mention on Pigeon Roost, along the highway. I think John, you're on that, John.
Yeah,
You did a day on that, I'm curious.
I usually do it the first week of September,
Okay,
so it's right before the reunion.
thank you.
It's 22:34 now. You can pass that down.
2234. Thank you. No, I got one. Thank you.
Oh, I was just
No,
gonna.
it's not. Okay. So, public comment ordinance. So what this is about is many counties around us have a public comment ordinance, which just basically states that, while we don't have to allow people to talk, we do feel like it's a good policy to have people talk. But we're going to look at adopting other counties' ordinances that does the same thing. Have you had a chance to read this?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's more than just
let-
counties. I don't know of a municipality offhand that does not have a public comment ordinance aside from Scott County.
And you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and read this real quick. This is an ordinance establishing rules and order procedures for public comment in the meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Scott County, Indiana, the board, is an executive and legislative body, Scott County government pursuant to provisions of IC 36-22-2 and IC 36-1-2-9. And whereas the board recognizes and understands the Indiana law does not mandate that citizens be permitted to speak, participate, or offer disclosure during public meetings. However, the board believes that the public input is essential to the process of representative democracy and good government. And whereas the board is desirous of providing public forum within the framework for free speech, public decorum, public decency, and public efficiency, and whereas in order to guarantee the ideas and policy expressed above, the board adopts the following rules and procedures and decorum of public comment. Now, therefore, it is hereby ordained by the Scott County Commissioners as follows, if we adopt this. Any individual that wishes to address the board or make general comments as permitted in ordinance shall sign the public comment sign-in sheet prior to the meeting being called to order. Number 2, no individual shall be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes and may speak only one time. Number 3, no individual shall be permitted to yield his or her time to speak to another individual. Number 4, the board may extend the time for public comment at any time upon a majority vote of the board. Number 5, the board may limit discussion, comment, or debate upon majority vote of the board. Number 6, no member of the public or the government shall be permitted during public comment to A, engage in gratuitous profanity during discourse, engage in gratuitous attacks upon individuals, groups based upon race, gender, religion, age, or creed, become loud, insolent, or angry, such their behavior constitutes disorderly conduct as defined by Indiana Code, or undertake personal attacks against the members of government by engaging in name calling, baiting, or engaging in conduct that would otherwise be liable, slanderous, or defamatory. If the individual violates section 6 of this ordinance, they shall be subject to, there's a word missing, to summary removal from said meeting. Number 8, that time limits rules stated herein shall not apply to any matters that are subject to certain advertised public hearings as required by Indiana Code. Number 9, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effective upon its passage and promulgation as evidence of the affirmation signatures of the undersigned as the majority of duly elected and serving members of this board. So the question is, do we want to adopt this ordinance? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion. I have a motion by Greg.
I'm not for
Okay, then I'll second the motion. The vote, motion carries.
So we will need to,
Do that.
if you'll just show the record for approval of the vote for today's purposes as 2-1. It is an ordinance, it's an administrative ordinance, but it requires that consent be unanimous to pass an ordinance at a single reading. So
Okay.
we will schedule it again for a second reading at the next public meeting.
All right. Put this on the agenda. First reading, second. All right.
I
Oh,
just have a question.
sure.
Does that just apply to us, or is that gonna apply to you guys also?
The behavior, well, it would be to this board, yes.
Well,
I mean, if you're asking about
The
the
only
behavior,
thing, I just be real clear. The only thing it prohibits is cursing, like gratuitous, disruptive behavior such that it's defined in Indiana law as a crime. Discrimination based on statements that would be discriminatory based on, race, religion, creed, ethnicity. I don't know that we've ever had any issues with those things, I would say.
I was just wondering about like the language and the attitude, and like
It
last
doesn't-
time you threw that handbook in the trash can.
It
and walked
does
out,
not,
you know,
it doesn't,
I don't know.
wait, hang on, it doesn't, that wouldn't even violate that ordinance. I mean,
So you
it's-
guys can act out and we can't, okay, that's just what I wanted to know.
that's not, it doesn't say that you can't act out. It doesn't say that you can't be animated. It doesn't say that you can't be, look, I practice in court a lot. I get animated about things that I care about, okay? It doesn't stop you from doing that. It doesn't stop the public from having valid discussion, even loud discussion necessarily, okay? It's, again, where it gets to a point where it's not positive communication, it's negative communication.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and say, I don't believe that in any way would have violated any provisions of that ordinance, period. Again, you can take this how you want, but until tonight, no board in Scott County commissioner history had ever firmly established the right of the public to speak at a public meeting. You can talk to any attorney you want about that. They'll tell you the same thing.
I believe that, I was just talking about, you guys reply to you guys the same way, because I've seen some pretty heated, meetings before.
And being heated, again, would not necessarily violate it.
Right, that's why I'm just
It's
asking
very
the question,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But, attitude means a lot to me, a lot.
Having heated debate is a benchmark, hallmark of, representative democracy. I think the ordinance understands that. It's just, again, when it gets to a point that you can't conduct the business of the meeting because somebody is being so disruptive, so unprofessional, or so malicious that you can't do anything, okay?
That's what we got security for.
Sure. Yeah,
well, I guess we have to have this law in place so we can
I understand.
use
I'm
the
just saying,
security.
I just wonder if it goes both ways, because there's been some wild stuff going on here lately, the attitudes and stuff, but, they just lose respect when they do stuff, but okay.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of professionalism that needs to be reached on.
it's a way to try to better organize the meetings and how they're run.
Means a lot that way.
It does. We're,
Respecting each other.
and we're unique. I understand that. We've never really operated the way we probably should. And I'm not surprised when you said that we're probably the only
I know of one-
municipality that doesn't have this.
I know of one municipality that does not use this, but they do have a section in their meeting that's specifically like we do, for public comment. They just don't necessarily have any ground rules.
Yeah.
And it is an extremely small municipality.
And keep in mind, by doing this, because I think you mentioned this earlier, somebody asked a question about, giving public comment. This board does not have to allow public comment. We do that. We do that as a courtesy and it's the right thing to do, but we're not bound to do it. And at least by putting something in place, it says, okay, we are doing this, but here's, like Zach says, here's the ground rules, right? Here's the process of doing it. And, we kind of the meetings sometimes take a free-for-all approach and we get off track on the agendas. We drag things out. I know people talked to me and said, hey, I was watching your meeting. I had to go to bed the other night. It's like, sure. You think about me, I had to go to the bathroom for over an hour. So, and I didn't want to get up, but, so it's just a way of trying to organize and quite frankly, be better for the public, so.
Our meetings go a little long.
Just real quick, tell me, the attorney, I think this will just apply to the commissioner meetings, correct? It won't all the rest of the meetings. I assume the council would have to apply their own if we wanted to.
It only,
Zoning boards and all that.
you have the authority to run your own meeting.
Right. but
Yeah.
Zoning boards the same way. I mentioned them,
Yeah.
city board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your order wouldn't transcend to the other board.
This is a board of
This is just
commissioners.
Do you want it to? No, I'm
Don't
kidding.
bother me none. I think we need it.
Okay.
Hey, Randy, before, I'm just catching this, there's an amended agenda, but I think the ones you guys have was not the amended one. And the cemetery board was on here, like, kind of way back up there, sorry. So the cemetery board was.
Sorry, guys.
For a reason.
Okay, sorry, it wasn't on our agenda.
It's not, because you don't have the amended, I'm not sure what happened there.
Okay, I'd make a motion to amend the agenda then.
Yeah. I'll second that.
I'll say.
Yeah. Okay, Adam second. I'll make it unanimous. Agenda amendment.
Yes, and it's to bring up the cemetery board.
You're next, Rick.
Yes, sir.
And here, I thought you guys were just coming by, just getting us the yard to see us.
We like you guys. Well, let me just start off with saying thank you to all three of you, because putting the board together, I know it's been a tough job. And personally, I think over the years, the cemetery board is, I won't say it's not been, it's not neglected, but it's been a board that's just kind of operated in their own will. So through you and all you at the table, you guys have put it together now, and we have a board, so we're making progress. Abbott here is on the board, Jeremy is on the board, and he's the vice chairman. I'm the chairman until the end of the year, and hopefully he'll take it. But we have some concerns, and these guys, I'm gonna tell you, they've been working their tails off on trying to get things, our cemeteries put together, but
Thank you.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Actually, if you don't mind me interrupting just for a second.
But
I just want to go on video here and let everybody know that these two guys have went out there in these cemeteries and they have, without any compensation, have mowed and gave their free time to help catch these cemeteries up. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you guys for your volunteering, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'm sure that there's families out there that is greatly appreciate it, and I just want to recognize you for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But all that putting together with, there's a learning process here. And these guys, there's, I think, 42 cemeteries we're responsible for. And I'm gonna take a wild guess it'll be more in the next few years because people just are having more trouble keeping up with these cemeteries that they do privately. And that's kind of what happened with Pigeon Roost, so it ended up in our lap. But that's okay because you're gonna hire one more person that's desperately needed. And these guys, through their trial by fire in the cemetery business, have come up with some issues that we have to be concerned about. And so you guys have brought some issues up I think we need to be talking about. So would you mind talking about some of these things you found out?
One of the things we've been wanting to talk about is there is a $200 fee that is paid to the auditor's office when people are actually buried in these cemeteries. It is a fee that goes towards the maintenance, and there's a fund, I believe you said, that was there that had a small amount of money in it. What we're wanting to do is this fee is technically a perpetual care fee. Most cemeteries in this county have a fee like that. Some as small as $100, $200 like this, some as much as $400 or $500. And we're hoping that you all may be able to help us in determining whether we could raise that fee up to somewhere closer to that to be able to help to fund this thing going on with the care, with the guys that are doing the work in the cemetery. And also some of the ones that we visited are in some pretty bad disrepair. Alpha, that's out on the northern side of the county, being one. There's some issues at Ox with, it's mainly headstone stuff that we're talking about with this. Jonathan and I are still talking about doing volunteer work to do this actual work, but we actually need supplies to get this stuff done. We need to be able to get money allocated to us to get those supplies, to do these things. We've actually had some other people that have approached us with wanting to volunteer as well. So we're just kind of wondering what our avenue is there, how we need to go about it with you all to be able to do this.
I guess we had to.
We would need to just advertise. I need to get a copy of the enabling ordinance that created the funds, like the.
I don't know that I have an ordinance that talks about the perpetual care. But now there is a small tax. This comes a little bit off our tax, the cemetery fund does.
Okay.
But if there's another.
But he's talking about the
Perpetual care.
perpetual care fund.
I'll look and see.
If you don't mind me asking, in the meantime, while we figure this out, what would you need donation-wise or money-wise to get that started?
I really need to kind of figure out what we need. We've done some projects before. It's mainly just for like supplies to do bonding work, which is putting the old stones back together, some mortar, stuff like that. I would say probably, I don't know, there is some money in that fund actually still, isn't there? That we could probably use to start with. So we're not hurting for it at the moment, but we want to be able to generate that to go as we go along, because like John said, we are acquiring more cemeteries in this program as it goes along. Oak Hill's one that's just come along this year that was actually a private cemetery last year and has come on the first of this year. And there's going to be more.
And who knows how long ago them prices.
Yeah,
It's in pages, so
that price has been in place for many years, I believe.
If you can't get the fund, like the ordinance number, if you can just get me the fund number, I can draft like a reinstituting ordinance, kind of what we've done actually with the cemetery board itself. We would advertise the costs, like a breakdown of the costs. Like, do you want to do it like uniform across the county for all these locations?
Yeah, that's usually what we're saying.
Do what?
That are active. There's
That
a
are-
lot of them that are.
They're not active. You cannot be. Yeah.
Not accessible.
So that makes it a little easy in terms of drafting for me. That doesn't have to be, but that does. If you wanted to use the funds that are already there, you probably have to go to the council first, get them to appropriate it, they would need to advertise the additional appropriation. I think that takes 2 weeks. But you could start that process to get like some initial funds. We can, take the issue of reestablishing and creating a new fee.
And this is kind of down the road for us, because we're still cataloging, doing the easy stuff like trees and setting stones back up.
Yeah, ones
That's-
that I of course do that kind of work, so I have stuff at my disposal. I go out, and take care of things at other places as well, so I've just kind of been doing that just to help out with the worst ones.
Well, in the meantime, while we get this figured out, tell John what you need, he'll reach out to me and I'll make sure you get it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're just, like I said, just trying to get these places, so a lot of them are cared for pretty meticulously. Richard does a good job with what he does, with what he's had this year. It's been a horrendous year for cutting grass. I mean,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
He's done the best with what he's had to do by himself. I cut Scottsburg Cemetery for 12 years. What he's doing out there to keep up that many cemeteries with himself, he's doing all he can, and he's fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I went out there and looked.
I'm on
He's doing
5-day
great.
vacation. I got big grass everywhere.
Somebody mentioned me the other day, said he'd probably mowing more than ever now with all the rain. I said, no, it's probably keeping him from mowing.
Yeah.
As he should.
It's growing fast, yeah.
So it's been a rough year for this business.
You touched on something, John. You said that we was gonna hire somebody for you guys. And my question to Zach would be, since they have a board, could they not give us a suggestion of who they would like to see hired in that position?
I don't see an issue with that. I mean, again, we're just talking about okay, so let's back up. One, we have a position that's already created, is my understanding. It's vacant.
Yes.
It's in the salary ordinance. And it is budgeted for, right? Yeah, they could recommend somebody to you to hire that works, in that realm, whatever you need.
How many applications we got?
I think there were 2 in there.
Okay. All right.
So you could delegate the authority to them to look at them and make a
I would like to.
recommendation.
I would like to do that because, ultimately you guys are gonna be working with this person. So I would like your input.
And I honestly thought that's what it's gonna be, because I talked to you about that the other day.
Yeah.
Tell me who you got.
So why don't you guys just make a motion to allow the cemetery board to review the application submitted and make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners when they determine who the candidate, their recommended candidate should be.
The only thing, I totally agree with everything. I'm just only concerned at this moment right now, is it gonna take this process longer? Cause maybe we can interview with you guys or something, but I want somebody hired as quick as possible. And if this slows it down, I would like.
I don't
maybe
think it.
When does it
She
close?
said she's got 2, you might look at them, you guys might know, right? So you're welcome to look at.
I won't say that.
22nd, I believe.
The
So end of
22nd is the
week
day,
is
yeah.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow. It ends tomorrow.
It ends
But
tomorrow,
regardless,
so we
it'll be your
can't,
next meeting for some gets hard, is that correct?
yeah, it's gonna be next,
We can recommend, but you'll do the hard.
Correct.
yes,
Okay. So we're still 2 weeks away,
9:30.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know there's much we can do to change that.
No.
so that'll give you guys time to look at the
Yeah.
applications.
I don't think this will be hard, but.
And then
Could
the
we
next
pause?
meeting, you guys just come to
Cut
us.
season's almost over.
Yeah, you can. I will not be here.
Yeah, it would be a quick,
But-
3-minute meeting.
Yeah.
I'll have to put together a notice for a special meeting, and I'll have to specifically say for this purpose.
Yeah, because I want to get y'all squared away before the reunion, if y'all would be up for that.
Sooner the better, I think, don't you? Yeah.
Do you want to, when do the applications close?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry, Friday.
Right,
I'm
okay.
day ahead. It's
So next week,
22nd.
do you guys want to look at your,
when's the reunion, what day
I
is it?
think it's the first weekend in September
Oh, it's
You talking
first
about,
at Pigeon Ridge.
September 13th, I think.
Oh,
Was that a Sunday?
Christmas and-
So the 7th.
The 7th this year?
That's a Sunday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you make this? Make it.
Next week would be better sometime.
I think it has to be next week.
Yeah, okay.
You got a date?
As long as it's Monday through Thursday, I'll.
Yeah, just, let's pick a day. I don't know. Let's just pick a day and I'll try to make it happen.
Okay.
It could be early or late. I mean, so it doesn't.
You guys want to make a suggestion? I want you to have time to review the
I don't know what
applications.
we should do at a public meeting right now on the hiring thing. No, I'm asking, I want to do it, I'm going to do it right.
Right, but I mean, well, so the process closes
Before 30 on
tomorrow.
the 22nd, which is Friday. I
So-
keep saying tomorrow too, but it's actually Friday, the 22nd.
Oh,
So
I just want tomorrow to be Friday. It's not.
I mean, it won't be hard, I just want to make sure we do the process.
It would need to be here a day on Monday, Tuesday.
I think they was gonna pick
Or
that.
Thursday.
I'll take their suggestion.
I don't care, you guys plan it,
So
so
I'm
I'll
just trying to give them time to
Because we would have to have a meeting.
review the applications.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, you're
I
right.
can make,
Yeah.
I'll just try to make it,
But then we gotta make it, you gotta give us,
whatever you guys come up with.
Yeah, so if you gotta wait 48 hours, we'd have to, it'd be probably Tuesday
Oh.
before we could meet, right? If we have to have a meeting to discuss that.
we're getting technical.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So do we want to hit for what, Thursday
Of next week?
of next week?
Yes, I will not be here. I
Okay.
think I've got a conference you know what, it's not all day. I can do it later in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be fine.
what's that mean?
I'll be good Thursday.
I could be here at 4:30 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think we have to
So
have
Thursday, August
48 hours
28th.
notice for us, I think.
At what time?
48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do 4:30?
4:30 Thursday.
Do 4:30?
Yeah.
4:30.
I'll send this to you, Jennifer.
Okay.
We'll set that for a little bit.
Let's see. We could go ahead and set the meeting.
Yeah.
Even before, so I mean, we could go ahead and set it. Let's see. Actually, tomorrow being Thursday, you could do your meeting as early as Monday.
Sound good to me.
What time do you want?
Yeah.
9 AM.
You know what really wants that?
You will have to have that sent out and posted by 9 AM.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do it at the Saddle Club building?
Do, yeah,
If we get out here before midnight, I'll go ahead and do it tonight.
thank you. Now, we had some other issues we're concerned about, didn't we?
You want to talk about hogs?
Yes, we have one that, is a pretty old cemetery that is,
Names.
we used to have access to the cemetery through what we thought was an easement for a property that was owned by, what's his name, Shelton, James Shelton. That's the way we used to access it. And now, apparently, this person, when he bought this property, is denied access back here. We're having to take an old road that comes off of, this is out on the Taylor Road area. We're having to come around up onto the top side, almost to state property up where it cuts back across, and we're having to take a half a mile trek back through an old road bed to get to this cemetery. It's in pretty bad disrepair. We actually had a burial back there in, I want to say April, March or April. And it was the fellow that actually owns the property. It's his son. We wanted to try to figure out how we need to proceed to see if we can get this easement that this fellow is denying us open back up, because it's literally from where the cemetery is, the back side of his house is probably 250, 300 feet from this cemetery. We're coming in the other way, half a mile through the woods.
We need to pull,
The survey on it?
you would need to pull like,
Mark?
yeah. But if the easement is recorded, it would be in the recorder's office.
Gotcha.
It could be,
I think from what Bill Holman told me.
Yeah.
When they buried somebody out there, the gentleman said he didn't want us back out there.
No.
And I think he might have even dug up the easement or something.
He blocked the easement with a mound to make a shooting range that goes back into the woods.
Well, that would
That's a
be,
different story.
that's a separate issue. We need to determine whether there is in fact an easement
True easement
first.
there, it's an old roadbed. and-
Then you need to,
Do what we want.
well, we will, if he's blocked the easement, we'll likely have to file a lawsuit.
Because this was previously a county road. The cemetery was built next to a one-room schoolhouse. That's all gone now, you know. So that was a county road at one time, but I don't know whether the,
When you vacate a county road though, the property reverts from the center line, usually from the center line of the road to the adjacent
well, I'm
property.
hoping when they vacated it, they kept an easement to the cemetery because it would have been established at the time.
Don't know.
Right. We don't know where to look.
But it's still an
That's-
active
And Kevin, is this the same, this is the same thing?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Went out and looked at it.
And there's at least 3 more people planning to be buried there, so it's not like it's an isolated situation. It's gonna come up again.
And by the way, I failed to mention Bill Holt and Gene Coomer both on the board here too.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, I had an individual that need to be put in that cemetery, correct?
Yes.
That's the one.
Yeah, let's dig it up and see if we got anything. We've been around this a few times.
It's gonna come up again.
Yeah, I would start at the recorder's office to figure out
Okay.
whether an easement exists as attached to like his property or whether there's a freestanding like recording of a public easement or.
Okay. So if that's not the case, then we need to,
Yeah, I mean.
If that's not the
Access.
case, I don't know that there's a whole lot of options.
Slide their own in.
Helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
well, technically, the gentleman that owns the property that it's on, he's one of the folks that will be buried there. So I mean, if worse comes to worse, that could possibly be where the easement comes to. But I mean, it's a treacherous trek from the front of his property back there up the side of it.
wait, the person who's denying access is.
No. The person that
The
owns,
property is behind the person that's denying access.
Yeah.
But to get there on his property is some pretty significant hills
Okay.
and stuff. It could be done, but it's gonna take a lot of work. To
We have
create,
to get like a bush hog out there or something.
you know, like a
bulldozer.
Yeah. So we'll know there's other cemeteries that way too. I know you guys look, but almost always, they might be landlocked. But the people who live there let mowers in to mow. And, we've been pretty lucky on that. They could shut us off if they wanted to. So we have to respect that. And I know some of them don't want the public at some of the cemeteries, but they let our mowers in. Because they don't want people cramping
Maybe we
over
had
their
one
property.
that doesn't want us mowing it. I thought it was on the list and actually wasn't.
Yeah.
So, and it's pretty accessible, but I've talked to them the other day and they're not interested.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
hopefully.
Animal? Oh, okay, yeah. But I bet they will be someday.
But
Yeah,
in time,
in time.
so.
And there's a lot of cemeteries like that have older people that have control, and once they're gone, there's not another generation, so the county's gonna get more of these cemeteries, I think.
And they're paying money out. Those people are paying money out, and it's getting harder and harder for them to
Right.
hire somebody to mow. and-
Oh,
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
it's gonna snowball, so.
Let's see, anything else? These guys have found a lot of them. I didn't even know some of it. What I didn't know is outside the city cemetery, we're responsible for cemeteries inside Scottsburg and Austin, I assume. I know there's at least 2 in Scottsburg that, were mowing, and you guys found one of them the other day, Boswell.
Yep.
So I would assume Scottsburg took care of all that, but they
I'm
don't.
going to research another one Sunday.
Yeah, so we do it,
Just
and I
not
haven't
the
got
light.
those people yet, but we will.
Unless, guys, I mean, and I've had somebody reach out to me on this before. I mean, but if it's like, you know, Scottsburg Cemetery, for instance, you know, we, that's privately ran
They
by
have
the
their own
Collinses,
board.
right? Or
They have their own.
Yeah. So there is cemeteries like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's one that comes to mind. Maybe Austin Cemetery is another one.
Spurgeon, Westwood Chapel, New
Spurgeon.
Providence.
Okay.
What's the pauper cemetery there we have to do?
Oh, that's Virgin?
Doug Harold, right across from Doug Harold there. You got to cross a creek to get into
Yes.
Oh, Oak Cemetery.
Oak Cemetery, thank you.
That is one that is on.
And you cross private property to get to that?
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few out there.
And there's some, we don't even know where they are, some of them. I mean, but they're in some of the cemetery books. But anyway, unless you guys got something else, we'll have you guys a recommendation by what, Monday? Is that all right if we just come up and tell you who we want, or if we gotta do it at a public meeting?
They're gonna have a special meeting.
I mean,
We
they
have a
will.
special meeting Thursday.
We'll pass on your
If
recommendation.
you guys want to make the recommendation in your meeting, and then one of you can just drop it off to
Okay.
Jennifer, it'll get to them for
Okay.
their meeting on Thursday.
We can do that.
Guys, thanks for all your work.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate it. Well, I think honestly, when these little cemeteries have problems, you don't hear much about them. When you get a one where it's very active or a larger cemetery, and you start seeing grass growing all over the place, we hear real quick about those.
Yeah, I bet.
But the little ones are important too.
Sure.
Yes.
too.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much. I really appreciate you guys volunteering.
We'll get Frenchman up here now.
Huh?
We'll get Tom Frenchman up here now.
Chris
No,
Chris White.
oh, not Tom Frenchman.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I was talking to Tom earlier. No, no.
The only thing I have was for that request letter. I don't think I'm using that.
It's
That's not all
Visitors
ours.
Commission request letter.
It's kind of down there, but
Oh, yeah.
Let's just-
You don't have to, but you can.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda, get visitor commission.
I second. Let's get Chris on here.
We're
and
gonna
let him get
make that
done.
unanimous.
Assuming it's got that letter.
That's it, it's
We're
on
wanting
here, I think.
to pay for the awning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is. You guys should have a letter here somewhere where we've asked, the council is asking the visitors commission to pay for those awnings, where it's about 18,000 or something. And we've asked once before and they said no, but we thought coming from the whole group that might
They're gonna bully you.
take a look at it.
It's just you skip.
Our squares, you probably haven't paid attention. I didn't either.
oh, I've seen it.
Well, I drove by them 50 times, didn't pay attention. The merchants told me about it.
Yeah.
But in my view, and I think he agreed with me, that would be something that the visitors commission can take care of, because we want our square to look nice.
Certainly appreciate it. We've had estimates from the awning guy. We had submitted those and I don't know whatever happened. But,
They went to the
Put them
council.
through there, they went to the council.
okay,
Just so you know, the reason we're asking, I should say me, I've asked the council, is quite simply because we're worried about money so much, we're trying to find alternate sources to pay for them, so we don't have to do everything out of the general and find, hopefully free up some money so we can pay other things.
hey, if the Visitors Commission can help us, I certainly appreciate it, because you're right, it's an eyesore, it looks
Yeah.
awful.
And we got windows to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Certainly be more than happy to give it my best shot, but it's actually the board that makes the decision.
September 9th, you said, didn't you?
I'm sorry?
September 9th.
Yes.
But if one of us or, if any of us could show up and explain, you know, this is important to us, not so much we want to dip into their money, but we got serious problems, and we all know that financial, and we're just trying every way we can to find another source to pay for some things.
yeah, that'd be
That's all it is.
fantastic.
And we work together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
if they say no, I don't know what we can do about it.
Yeah.
Well, I know what we can do about it, but,
So,
I think.
Good luck, no pressure, Chris.
Overly optimistic.
Yeah. I
so
hear
your meeting is September 9th?
10 a.m.
September 9th, 10 o'clock in the morning, yes, sir.
So, that's all we got, isn't it? You have something else?
Absolutely nothing, no, I didn't.
Are you sure?
realize I was-
I'm just gonna be-
Anyway.
I mean, you realize, like, the county fiscal body makes all of the appropriations for the visitors commission.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So what I'm saying is,
Council.
you
Yeah.
hold a little bit of a
I
you
think
know,
we
a
do.
carrot and stick here.
Well, thank you, between us and their actual bosses right here. I hope they understand it's important to us.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to work. That may sound like what we're doing, but I want them to understand it's important.
Mr. Stewart, would you be kind enough to elaborate on that a little bit, please?
Indiana Code 6-9-18-6 says powers of commission. It's under the Uniform County Innkeeper's Tax. Under section B, it says all expenses shall be paid from section 4A, from the fund established under section 4A. The commission shall annually prepare a budget, taking into consideration the recommendations made by a corporation and blah, 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 and submit it to the county fiscal body for its review and approval. An expenditure may not be made under this chapter unless it is in accordance with an appropriation made by the county fiscal body in the manner provided by law. So they appropriate your money annually, so they set your budget. And yes,
They do?
yes,
Really?
yeah.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought it came with
You
the
make-
taxes, the innkeeper tax.
you-
and then it all just went into a-
The money goes into an innkeeper fund, but the budget from the fund is set by
That makes sense.
the county council, just like every other county body.
Okay.
So we have tons of different types of taxes for different types of funds. And even non-tax funds usually go through, the only one that I do not believe does is the commissary fund. But they set the budget every single year, right? So they determine whether or not you can spend money
Yes,
at all.
okay.
Like, do you hear what I'm saying?
I understand. what you're saying.
Because they could say, they could say you get no appropriated funds,
Mhm.
regardless of the fact that funds are collected,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay?
yes.
Noted.
So,
I'll see you
So that's,
So you, John, you'll be at their meeting on the ninth.
I'll be there. You too, I hope.
I will try to remember to be there. I've got it on my calendar.
So do we want to sign this letter or no?
I want you to sign it, yeah, if you will.
I'll make a motion to sign the letter.
I'll make it unanimous.
So the state statute that tells you how you may spend the money is.
that is subsection, that's a different, that is Indiana Code 6-9-18-4, subsection C. It states that money in the fund
Yes,
that is also appropriated by council
yes.
may be spent on the following: only to promote and encourage conventions, visitors, tourism within the county.
Right. So, in other words, if Visitors Commission does not agree to pay for those awnings, then the fund disappears somewhere?
No,
No.
no. Theoretically, all I'm saying is theoretically, they're the ones that decide how much money you get every year.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I do get that.
Okay.
But it sounds like
It's not a retaliatory, it's a,
it's
yeah.
a bit blackmailish, isn't it?
No.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying they decide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if they decide
You go to
to have
budget,
any money,
yeah.
then does that actually benefit anybody at all?
No. It doesn't.
It's just.
you attend budget hearings, right, with the council?
Hypothetically, I
Yes,
guess.
so when you go to budget hearings, the council allocates money to your budget. And so therefore, the innkeeper's tax that comes in, the council then appropriates you money, and that's for your budget for the year. And so therefore, the council can give you money, or they can say, oh, this money could possibly be used for something else,
Let me-
hold it back or something.
Let me ask you a
I don't know
different,
if it can be.
is there a feeling from the board that for some reason this expenditure doesn't meet the requirements of a approved use?
It's all to do with,
Heads in the bed.
I'm on the wrong end of this because I think it should be done anyway, but anyway, the board decides, and dependent on whether it promotes tourism and brings visitors into the community is the main idea behind,
Totally agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
okay? But does putting up 2 awnings bring more people into town, or?
I think the question is, does tattered awnings discourage?
Does it beautification?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it does, it gives you a non-exhaustive list of things that you can spend the money on. Like it says, you can do, these are examples, these are not limitations. There's other things that exist out there, but it says you can spend it for advertising, promotional activities, trade shows, special events, recreation. So I don't know if you put a name on the awnings, does that, I mean, I'm saying there's theoretically a advantage. I mean, if the downtown region begins to look
Shabby.
I know exactly, and I follow exactly what you're saying, but I also believe in what you're saying.
sure. Now, I'm not speaking for the council. I'm just trying to figure out why, if the council is in favor of it, it seems to be
This square,
contentious.
this square is the focal point of our county, right?
Yeah. It's quick.
And, we've talked about, we want everything to look nice, and in the courtyard too, not just like I said, I drive around and I didn't pay any attention to it until the merchant told me about it, and I'm like, yeah, that does look bad. And, he said, you know, maybe other people might encourage other people not to ask you for money, but to do the wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's desperately needed. If we have an avenue there with your board,
I mean, wasn't
and I
there-
get where you're coming from.
Wasn't there an issue
They're not
that,
necessarily gonna love that because of the things that you're saying, but I think there's an avenue there. I think we make a case for it.
I believe there would likely be sufficient justification if
Yeah.
you make findings about why you're doing what you're doing. Wasn't there an issue previously about the idea that there was too much money in that fund and you didn't know what to do with it?
A few years ago.
There's too much money been sitting there for too long, yes.
Okay,
I would not argue with that at all, none whatsoever.
But you've got a lot of good, I mean, you've had some great ideas. It's just, you know, moving forward. I mean,
you've done a phenomenal, this is not, don't take any of this the wrong way. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, I understand.
Actually, you've been supportive of it.
I'm sorry?
You've been supportive when we've talked.
Yes, I have. Which
Yeah.
will probably get me fired by my board.
yeah, no, you've had
No,
some great ideas.
You've done a great job, and we appreciate you. And I mean it. If
Okay.
you guys could find it in your hearts to help out the county and do that.
You're talking to the wrong man.
I know. I'm hoping they're listening, you know.
That's why we want.
And I certainly, I mean,
Well, and I think Chris, he's very sympathetic from the standpoint that former business owner
Yeah.
on the square. And so, you certainly appreciate the fact that, you know, if we have some rundown,
Well, you got the right word, I saw.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's not good.
I mean,
Not an
I would love to see it say, you know, God bless Trump, but I can overlook that. If you guys would agree, you know, I wouldn't push that issue.
Just do the best you can.
Actually, we don't.
I mean, the
I don't think we're
downtown is
allowed.
just like,
Yeah.
if you go into a restaurant and the place you walk into is pretty scruffy, it's gonna make you wonder about the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of a
100%.
similar thing here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Thank you.
didn't mean to occupy so much of your time.
One more question. Was there a good turnout for Lieutenant Governor's staff?
Did we
coming
sign that? Did it get signed?
For office hours?
Well,
Yes, we saw.
actually, there were, yes. Yeah, there were quite a number showing up for that. and I was quite pleased with that.
You need that
They
back,
didn't just
John?
run in and run out.
As long as she's got it. You probably want to keep the original, I'll make a copy or something.
Sure, do we want to just, okay.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for being put on the spot. All right. So next item on the agenda is fund creation for compact water.
I sent you a copy of our ordinance.
Okay, let me go check, because I don't think I printed that one.
I think you made her mad.
I think there's actually a bunch of other things that
That door swing through.
What about the opioid?
that all needs to be on here.
Because I also had Cease reach out and ask if we had received it, and advised we did.
Receive the
Opioid thing.
anticipation form or receive the disbursement?
All the forms that you had forwarded us on the 6th, they had received it last week. And so they were just making sure we were.
We
aware.
got it. Okay.
Yeah. Want to make sure we were informed.
Yeah. Sorry. I get some water.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Really get on again.
We're talking Monday, though.
Yeah.
Donations. If you don't already, they have to have an ordinance establishing to donate something.
It's my personal one.
I know, it's donated.
Okay.
Ask him.
I'll check it.
I think there's.
Oh, that's right. There's something in the handbook about that, but it's, what it was, personal gain or something, but I'll check into it.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Make sure you get it right.
Yes, sir. Oh, sorry.
Good. If I caused too much trouble, they just quit the meeting. Marcella, she's always starting trouble.
You'll be all right for the second reading of that new ordinance.
Yeah.
Get it when you can.
John, Chris might never come back because
I feel bad about that. Not too bad, not too bad.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what you was wanting to say.
Okay. All right, so, for those at home and didn't hear, what we're trying to do is, we was given, sorry, my hillbilly accent's coming out. We was given $60,000 from Morgan Foods, in order to purchase a new compactor for our, transfer station. And now we're trying to, our attorney has, written up a,
It's a home rule ordinance. It will function much like many of the other home rule ordinances we have. It'll be a special non-reverting fund to deposit the money into. Council will have to go through the process of appropriating it to make the purchase.
so, do I have a motion to accept this?
I'm making a motion.
All right, then the first by Greg, a second by Adam, and I'll make that unanimous.
So Jennifer, you'll have to assign a fund number, create a line item for equipment purchases, and then advertise so that we can get it on their meeting agenda for the next possible meeting, whenever that is.
I think that was mine.
Do you have an ordinance number? Don't worry about it. You can do it right later, right? We can read it.
We're gonna be doing a lot of
Ordinances.
ordinances, I think, tonight. Didn't we just do one?
Yes.
The second one, huh?
Oh, that was the public.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crap. I'm glad you gave me those.
Let's see if it
Was
Give me a second. I'm looking at
it?
another
Was it really?
one.
I saw him name the wrong spell on this one, anyway.
That one. Wrong and everything.
I didn't print like that.
No, that's the same ordinance. That's the same one.
Oh, is it?
It printed differently on two different. Okay.
There were two different attachments there. I didn't read them, I just printed them.
I think one was a Word and one.
Yeah, one was Word, one was
PDF.
PDF. Yeah, we're not gonna
Yeah.
use that one.
Do you need one reprinted?
I think we do.
How did this print differently?
Just the format, Word versus PDF.
All right, just use that one. It like deleted lines. I don't know.
So why are we doing? They don't have yea or nay on like the other one did.
Right here.
Yeah.
Is the owl beeping or is something else beeping?
I don't know. I think we're getting close to
The limit?
Kind of confusing.
2 hours. No?
Maybe it should be. Not 2 minutes. What is this one for again?
That is the
The fund.
compactor fund
Yeah.
creation ordinance, right side with DES, left side no.
These are longer. Okay.
Let me check that Andrew.
That's okay. That's all.
Big sir.
We're moving around.
Oh, I see. I just like it there.
Just considering that we're doing all this stuff right now, Jennifer, we need to get a copy of the opioid settlement participation documents. I didn't know if you printed those
So are
out.
those the ones that you sent me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then a copy of the resolution approving the use of opioid abatement funds. One, two, three. All right, so I would ask that you guys amend the agenda. I know everybody got copies of these on Monday.
Yes.
Well, we've had the opioid settlement participation packet since the last meeting. Deadline is September 30th, so obviously it's not tonight, but I did receive these from our outside counsel who handled the original opioid settlement lawsuits for the county. And he wanted us to have copies of the subdivision participation forms. Everything is explained that in the packet as to what we are participating in. This is a separate settlement packet from the other, I want to say 3 settlement participation agreements that we've entered into so far. We have the Teva Allergen, CVS, then that was the pharmaceutical side. Then there was a distributor side, I think a manufacturer side, and then this is actually as to, I think this is as to the Sackler settlement. And it says it in here somewhere.
The one was definitely. I remember seeing it.
I can't find it. It's here it is. Yep, it's the Sackler settlement. It's a Purdue direct settlement. So again, we've participated in every single settlement package up to this point. I don't see, I mean, again, it comes with a recommendation from the attorney that has handled all of our ongoing litigation. So I'll leave it up to you guys to decide what you want to do. But if you did want to approve it, I would suggest doing it sooner rather than later. We'll have to send these out, keep copies for our records, but there's notations in there and who to send them to. You'd need to authorize Randy to sign on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and designate himself as the point of contact, I guess, under the participation agreement.
I'll make a motion for Randy to sign and be the point of contact.
Make a second to approve. And Randy sign.
So it's, yep.
And I'll make it unanimous, by the way.
And then on the front of the exhibit, we'll just need to fill out, Jennifer, I don't know if you want to put your email there, phone number, and then all the information for the entity, and then the state information on the other side, and then we'll submit that to participate. But you can do that outside of the meeting. Yes. And then I also have a resolution approving certain funds from the opioid abatement distributions. I got an email. I think we have $340,000 in the restricted category.
We're just under that. Hang on, I had just put it up.
337.
Yeah, I think it's like 330. Well, it's gonna show a little more than that with what's appropriated, what's been spent. We're at 337 that we have available.
So this is for the planned use to renovate the Nazarene Church location based on the bid acceptance from our prior meeting, and it's for $324,000. $500. It outlines the specifics for the list of opioid remediation core strategies and approved uses under the Attorney General's list for, again, it's not like it's not an exhaustive list, but these are like kind of pre-approved, pre-designated, or
It covers it.
Existing things that we already know would be able to be used. I think the point of this is that one thing I think that we hear a lot of and have heard a lot of over the course of the last couple of years in participation with programs like IRACS, the Recovery Court, Thrive, when they were here, the other recovery entities, is that one thing that we kind of lack is a kind of centralized location to be used for meetings, staffing, planning, and really, if we wanted to expand OUD related treatment services in the county. We want to have a public location that we can, designate for use by programs like IRACs and other things for people to meet and go to. So again, I think the point of this is that it's a brick and mortar project to hopefully set the stage for expanding the different entities and groups that can use that location going forward.
Yep. So
I can read it if you want me to.
entertain a motion. Oh. Okay.
Whereas pursuant to Indiana Code 5-22-2-13, Scott County is a governmental body under IC 36-2-2-2. The Board of Commissioners is the county executive for Scott County, and pursuant to IC 36-2-3-2, the county council is the county fiscal body for Scott County. Scott County government has received certain distributions pursuant to the distributor settlement agreement and Indiana Code 4-6-15 et sec. Whereas the Indiana Office of the Attorney General has prepared a list of approved opioid remediation uses with priority to be given to those listed in the Schedule A core strategies and Schedule B approved uses. Whereas the Scott County Board of Commissioners has determined that Scott County lacks an available facility to conduct OUD treatment program meetings, to coordinate between different stages of treatment for jail inmates and recently incarcerated inmates, and to provide space for IRAC's operations. The Scott County Board of Commissioners does have control of a suitable building for the needs listed above that is in close proximity to the Scott County Jail. It would be usable as a facility for recovery programs for inmates and citizens. However, the building needs significant renovation before it is possible to use for these purposes. The Board of Commissioners has requested and received public bids for this proposed renovation as a public works project, and the board by majority vote approved and accepted the lowest responsible and responsive bid in an open public meeting on August 6, 2025. The list of opioid remediation Schedule A core strategies and Schedule B approved uses is included in the proposed programming that would take place at the renovated facility. And IRACs, who would be the main occupant of the proposed renovated space, operates within approved treatment for substance abuse and OUD related issues. The Scott County Board of Commissioners find that these funds meet the criteria that fall within the approved use categories and core strategies, and is necessary to expand OUD services in Scott County. The Scott County, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners, the Scott County Board of Commissioners plan for the use of opioid remediation funds meets the criteria listed in the Indiana Attorney General's office's listed of approved opioid remediation uses. The proposed renovation is narrowly tailored and necessary to expand specific programming, training, and materials for opioid treatment services as defined by the Indiana Office of Attorney General, and additional list of abatement strategies. The Board of Commissioners resolves to approve the use of $324,500 to fund the renovations of the Nazarene Church building as described in the bid acceptance packet attached here to and incorporated by reference as Exhibit A for the purpose of providing necessary space for OUD-based treatment programs for inmates and citizens of Scott County. This resolution is effective upon passage, signing, and recording by the presiding officer of the respective executive and fiscal bodies of the county. So if it were approved, we would send it to the county council for appropriation of the total amount, along with the bid acceptance package to begin the renovations.
All right, go have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Make that unanimous.
That will leave somewhere around $13,000 in that fund. I will let everybody know that I think there's been a kind of maybe a request, maybe just some communication about the use of those funds for the different recovery courts that we have. I don't know if it's specific to that or if it includes veterans court funds.
No, Judge might apply for a grant just for recovery court, from my understanding.
For just for recovery court.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was no money. Don't have anything done.
It came in less than requested, like the grant was approved, but they awarded less.
Yeah.
I know that the shortfall is more than what we have in the line item, but again, we are likely to receive a distribution in the next
We did
30 to
just,
45 days.
we did just, what, in the last week, can we, receive a distribution of 57,000.
Okay, is that inclusive, is that 330,000 include that amount that we just received?
Yes.
Okay. I think because we're participating in so many different participation agreements at this point, I think that we're likely to receive other funds. So just everybody be aware of that when we're moving into 2026 about what funds may be available. In my opinion, it would clearly qualify to use those funds for the recovery court. But just my 2 cents.
Roger
Okay. And this is the zoning, which we're not doing tonight. What else? Do you have anything else? Is that it?
I want to make sure.
Are you gonna do anything with the precinct?
Yes. Thank you. All right. There was, did you get copies of those?
Yes, I've got
Okay.
those, and I've also got, ordinance for, establishing a clerk's office perpetuation fund.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that. So looking over the redistricting.
Yeah.
So when Chairman Ward reached out to Clerk Shelton, there was only like a small stipulation or something that needed to be corrected. With that, it looks like the board and Clerk Shelton would have the ability to redistrict like a wide.
Not correct.
Okay, all right. So I was hoping you could educate me on that.
So it's not, we're not changing precincts, we're not re-precincting.
Okay.
There are, we call them small. Maybe that's a way to describe it in the sense that it affects a small group, maybe. But what has become apparent, and I don't think that this was anything that was done by the Board of Commissioners when we did re-precinct probably 4 years ago, I think. It was before.
It was, yeah,
It was before.
and Wendy was still in office.
Yes. Yeah. When the GIS mapping system was used to draw the precincts, I think we didn't realize that there may have been discrepancies in the map that was submitted to the Indiana Election Division. They were kind of caused by, could be technical errors, could be human error. We're not exactly sure.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is that certain precinct boundaries, though they were supposed to, you tell me if I'm wrong, snap to certain municipal boundaries.
Gotcha.
As a legal requirement, unless we were going to do a split, which I believe the entire purpose of the whole thing was to avoid splits. The thought process was we didn't want to do that anymore. All we are going to do is retroactively acknowledge that we are approving the precinct boundaries that I think the Board of Commissioners at the time originally believed that they were approving.
Gotcha.
And that if there had not been, again, whether it was a technical error, a human error, just a mapping error, like depending on how far you zoom that GIS in or out.
Yeah.
What has happened is it has created situations where, again, small group of people are affected, but we have possibilities where county citizens, like one in particular that I know of, would be actually voting in city elections, but not within city limits.
Gotcha. Okay. I hadn't been related, so
Well,
thank you for educating.
if you don't mind getting in here. So basically what happens, like Zach says, when you looked at the map, it looked right, but when you zoom in, you find out that the
It's like-
lines
Yeah,
subdivided a house,
it's
Yeah,
supposed to go across
a
a
property.
road. But if you zoom in far enough, that line that you think is on that road is literally cutting a house in half.
Gotcha.
It's cutting property in half.
Yeah.
Instead of property lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Well,
only
since we just
thing-
got this a few hours ago, I was like, there's a little confusing. Yeah.
Well, and that is not Michelle's. You all received it as soon as I received it.
Yeah, yeah.
This has been reviewed by the election board attorney. And I think it is a pretty unique solution to what seems to be a fairly complicated problem.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm understanding the communications from the Indiana Department or the Indiana Election Division is we don't really have the ability to do a whole lot of things in this situation aside from try to, create new splits. And it's not as easy as somebody go in and fix the map.
Yeah.
But what you would be approving is I don't think I have the one paper. Okay.
Which one?
The packet that Indiana Election Division sent, there's a form that has to be filled out at the very end of the packet. But you would be approving an ordinance establishing the precincts as we should have understood them to be, delegating the authority to not redraw, not reinitiate, not recreate and change anything, but to allow the election board to oversee the making sure that those lines are snapping to the correct municipal boundaries.
Gotcha. Cool. I know there was conversation of redistricting earlier in the year, and so that's what.
And this would not be redistricting.
Gotcha. Easy enough? Cool, now I understand.
So what caused this is we have a house being built on Fairgrounds Road, and on May the 12th, we pulled in that voter's registration. And when we pulled that in, we realized this, and so I emailed Jennifer, Randy, and Zach on May 14th with the issue. And the deadline to get all of this fixed and sent in is the 27th. But it's just the fact of to register that voter, it's literally through his house, so where do we register? But I have
I
that.
think the system is not allowing them to register that person.
Well, that's
So,
right. We need to get
And how
Twitter.
we get our map, and most counties do this, is the census block maps. So when they do the census every 10 years or whatever, they do those maps, and it's based off of that, and they just don't zoom in to make them.
Cool. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Let's get them fixed, squared away.
So there's one order establishing and then one order delegating the authority to the election board, not Michelle, not the clerk's office, but to the board itself. To begin the process of creating the map that will then attach to the order establishing the districts.
I'll make a motion to approve.
One second.
That's it.
Ignore the president member.
I'll make that
situation.
unanimous.
There was
It's not,
some confusion.
it's not.
I couldn't change a PDF.
I wish I knew how.
Oh, sorry.
Every time I try and change a PDF, it
It isn't important.
destroys the formatting.
Doesn't really matter, does it?
It does not. President is, in name only to run the meeting. It's not, doesn't give one member more power than another. And there are some counties where the authority to re-precinct is actually delegated to the election board entirely. We're just not one of those counties that normally does that, but we're gonna do this in this situation, because they have the ability and the contact with GIS.
Yeah.
To get it done.
That'd be Mr. Lowry.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I know he does GIS.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, he does the WTH.
Yeah. What else, man?
This is for the clerk's office perpetuation fund. We already have a clerk's office perpetuation fund. All it does is, and this is a request from the clerk's office, it establishes internal controls for, I guess the request is to use the fund for a specific purpose. That purpose is outlined in the document. Everyone should have gotten this on Monday.
Mhm.
It would allow the clerk to approve basically opportunities for the clerk, chief deputy, and full-time staff members to opt in to basically scan old court documents and election records during their lunch hour and earn up to 1.5 hours per week, which can total out at 3 hours per pay period, which is a 2-week period. The total stipend expenditure per person will not exceed $1,500 to $5.40. Staff members will be required to email the clerk, let the clerk know the days that they will be requesting to perform the record preservation services during their lunch hour. The clerk will approve their requests or not. They will maintain records of their record preservation work and document them to be compensated from the fund at the amounts described. The clerk and chief deputy will verify all the scanned documents and prepare the Indiana Supreme Court Office of Court Services Destruction Certification Form, imaging form to be sent to the state for approval. When the state approves State Form 44905, preservation hours will then be submitted to the county auditor for distribution from the stipend. This will be an expense report claims process and will be submitted according to the council's requirements bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. All stipend records will be stored in the clerk's office with payroll for the State Board of Accounts audits. So it just allows the use of that fund for this additional purpose.
The internal controls are sufficient for the perpetuation stipend.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, and I'll make that unanimous. That was our last one.
Contractor
The veteran service location.
recommendations, precincting.
I think we're ready for that.
The only other thing that I had was the ordinance for commercial purchasing card, but I mean, honestly, I'd like to give you all more time to just think about it. I don't think there's any dire situation, but if we could just put that on the September 17th meeting agenda, because I'll be back by then.
Okay. So I accept the motion to table.
I make the motion to table that.
I'll second.
All right, and I'll make that unanimous. And that was it, right?
That's all I had.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda tonight is veteran service, location, and building. So I guess the idea here is to bring up the fact that we'd like to bring veteran services back to the square, closer to the courthouse, where it's more centrally located to other services here in the county. Also, in the building that it's at, there's it's a little harder for our veterans to get in and out of. Bringing them back down here on the square, it's all ground level for our elderly veterans. And another plus to it is we have a building that we own at the hospital that we would like to possibly vacate that and put that up for sale to raise money for projects we got going on here in the county, like, and for instance, because I haven't hammered any of this out with the other two commissioners, but like one possibility would be maybe to pay for the computers or other upgrades that we're looking at, with money being so tight. With that, Greg, do you have any comments? Are you all right with it?
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole idea of bringing that group back closer to courthouse and that particular location. I would probably ask that you maybe work with Jonathan to see if it accommodates him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that space is enough, but I like the idea of bringing him and the VA department back around the square, or in, if not that location, maybe in the new city hall, or we have an office available here at some point. But I mean, I would say I'm okay with that. I guess you just have to work with him to see if that accommodates him. But as far as the building goes, I mean, I think it's, I think it's a good idea if we're able to maybe sell it and vacate. Something to consider, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
Questions, comments?
I think bringing back one-stop shop for mortgage deductions and all that, and parking would be a little tight out front of City Hall or wherever, but having it all one stop, I think would be great. But yeah, Jonathan, definitely need to have a say so.
And I mean, and another potential issue that we've had to address in the past is when winter time comes, that veteran services was kind of always out of sight, out of mind. And some of our people would forget to go by and salt the area and keep it clean. This way, it's easier to do that too. So, okay, so moving forward, I will get with Jonathan and talk to him about the space and see if it fits him, and get his thoughts on it. And we'll table it for till the next meeting. All right. All right, so moving on, consideration of regular and special invoices.
Oh, there were no regular and special invoices. I'm sorry, we're closing in on 3 hours and I couldn't remember if we had to reset this one or not. In consideration of payroll.
What are you saying, you lost inspiration?
Well, I couldn't remember the other, one we had to shut down and restart. I couldn't remember on this one if we do or not, but we do not, so.
Motion to approve.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is consideration of payroll. Adam, do you?
Second.
I'll second. All right, I'll make that unanimous.
I'll stand and send it to you.
All right, and consideration of minutes, August 6th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I said. All right, then I'll make that unanimous. All right, Counselor, do you have any comments?
I do not.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to,
I will be gone the next meeting.
okay.
And actually, I will say one thing. Jennifer, thank you for, on the agenda, putting the updated information for the commissioners' terms.
All right, with that, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
How's your new EMS roll?
Good.
2 hours, 51 minutes.